If you guys have something like this pretty loose outlet or sunken outlet, or maybe even just broken plate of the outlet, and when you plug it in, it's pretty loose and you don't like it and you have to fix it. So here are the few simple methods I'm going to show you pretty much electricians use to go about fixing something like this. So number one, let's remove the plate. But before you work on any device, you have to turn off your electrical breaker for the circuit. And even before you try to remove it, you have to test with your plug tester that there is no power. So once you do that, you're good to go to remove the plate of the outlet. And once you remove the plate, we have to pay attention to a few things. So there are many times you will have basically just these two screws, mounting screws of the electrical outlet become loose. So sometimes all it takes is just to tighten these screws, as long as these ears for the outlet are basically pushing against the drywall or whatever finish you have, tile, wood, whatever it is. So first method is just to tighten this screw. So after tightening this screw, in my case, you can see this is pretty solid now, and I can put a plate on and it's good to go. But another method, second method, you will have many instances where electrical boxes are pretty deep inside, and these ears, or maybe even the box for the outlet, the drywall or finish, if you have wooden finish tile, is pretty much cut a little bit bigger. And when you try to screw it in, pretty much the outlet goes inside of the box slightly, and it's not leveled with whatever finish you have, wood, tile, or just drywall. So in that case, we do use pads, basically spacers. So I'm just going to cut two and put it like this. I will just insert. I'm just going to put one on top right here, and then we'll put one basically underneath. So you can see it has a hole for the screw. Basically one side is open, so you can just push it into that screwdriver. And now, when I tighten this, this is the second method to mount and fix your electrical outlet. And there's a third method when you have even bigger space between the electrical box and the outlet. And at the same time, the finish, basically the wall, is cut slightly bigger than the mounting legs of the outlet brackets. And in that case, we do use box extenders. Pretty much it is required when you have your electrical box deeper than the finish of the wall. It's required if you have a wooden finish tile in the kitchen. A lot of times it's used on cabinet outlets. That's where it's used. But you can use it to fix sunken, broken outlets that basically do not sit against the finish, against the wall, and it's pretty big. So you can use this in a very simple method to put it on. You don't have to remove wiring for the outlets. All you got to do is unscrew these screws, and we're going to slide it in just like this. And make sure you organize the wires nicely. And then if the existing screws are a bit shorter, you can use longer screws that come with the packaging of the box extender. But the only thing I want to mention is when you use longer screws, be careful when you screw it all the way in, that it doesn't hit your wiring and pretty much nick it, and it doesn't damage your wire, which will cause your circuit tripping, or maybe even your electrical breaker tripping. But it's only when you have this type of setup, a metal box like this, which is more of a commercial setup, or maybe even high-rise apartments like this, these are used. But in residential homes, many times this hole is pretty much protected, and you can use as long of screws as you want, and it won't go in to hit it. I use my power tester to twist the outlet just to level it slightly. You can do that too, but make sure you don't break it. So this is the third method I recommend using, to use box extenders. And at the same time, some people, when they use this method, like to tape around the screws of the outlet as well. And lastly, what I want to recommend is when you buy a plate, a finish plate for the outlet, do not use these ceramic. I believe these are pretty much the hard covers that break easily. When you try to tighten the screw, it cracks here and it keeps cracking. But there are ones, the nylon ones, that are soft. You can bend it and it's not going to crack. So that's what I recommend using. And that's how you fix broken, loose, sunken outlets like this.